Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good Christmas. Getting ready for a new year, 2025. This is Source Codex, aka Jazz Fusion Guy, giving you an update on some items that I have purchased and items that I have procured for resale. Just in today from Chile, this is the Mahavishnu Orchestra at Dome, CW Post, University, Greenvale, 1973. I checked it out in the car. Sounds good. Now here's something I procured from Japan. This is Carlos Santana and Mahavishnu John McLaughlin. It is a multiple CD recording. So that'll be interesting to listen to. And another, Winging the Infinite by Mahavishnu Orchestra, Birds of Fire Tour, 1973 in Toronto. And this is a multiple disc recording with bonus tracks. Also, recently I picked up UK Reunion live in Tokyo. It's got a lot of great musicians on here. Picked that up off of eBay. And out of England, I picked up a space music CD by John Seri called Ascendant Destiny. Looking forward to hearing that. Didn't even know it was out. Now off of Amazon, I grabbed Mahavishnu Orchestra, Avery Fisher Hall, New York, 1973. Now another rarity. This is July by Neil Knapp. Was on the Audion label, which is now defunct. And it's Neil with his tricked out Les Paul jamming along with synthesizers. Great release, and Neil's a really nice guy. We've had a lot of long email exchanges. Now, Daryl Sturmer put out a kind of a collective release called Go, with a lot of his blazing electric guitar work. Many of you will know he played with Jean-Luc Ponty back in the early days. Now, items that I picked up, many of them from Japan for resale. This is Shawn Lane's Power of 10. This is a Japanese version, comes with the collectible OBI strip. I already have a copy of this, so this is going to be passed on to somebody else. And from Japan, I picked up Bill Connor's Assembler. This was his 80s electric period. Played a lot of legato. And another one, a slightly different version, different label. This is on Pathfinder. The last one, I don't know what label it was. Doesn't matter. I will put up shopping links below this video in the description, in the notes. So make sure you click on that if you're interested and hit the link more or whatever it says. Now, this is Bill Connor's Step It, another release from his 80s period. Now, Step It was released in other formats in other countries. And here is, I believe, this is Pathfinder Core label out of Germany. So that's up for sale too. And this is Chad Wackerman's Scream. A lot of you may know he was a drummer for Frank Zappa. And then, of course, famously with the late Alan Holdsworth. This is one of his solo releases. And a Aussie guitarist, James Mueller, plays on this. And I swear, he's kind of a mix of flashes of Bill Connors mixed in with Holdsworth and then his own style. Really nice stuff. Now, I recently picked this up from Japan. This is the Mahavishnu Orchestra Complete Columbia Albums Collection. It's got, like, I think 3 mint CDs and then 2 near mint CDs. I actually sold this to some guy on eBay, but the Putz wanted to return it because he said he didn't like the recordings, how it sounded. He didn't like the live albums. You know, on eBay, I don't run an audio library where you can buy my stuff and listen to it and then just return it. So I hope this time somebody will buy it that appreciates it for what it is. Live recordings are a look into history and don't expect perfection. But this is a great release. The bonus disc, unreleased tracks from Between Nothingness and Eternity. To me, it's well worth the price of admission. Okay, lately I have run into many copies of the rare release players featuring famous artists T. Levitz, who was with the Dregs, Jeff Berlin, who's played with a lot of groups like Bruford and so on, and Steve Smith, pretty famous fusion drummer, and then this Scott Henderson guy. I think we know who he is. So this whole stack is all players' CDs that are up for sale. This one is a very rare Japanese version with the OBI strip. So make sure you don't miss out on that. Now, recently on my YouTube channel, as in on December the 5th, I ran into issues with a label and some mysterious corporation hitting me with a copyright strike over a 90-second long clip of a lead break by Scott Henderson. You know, I thought, what a great Christmas present, but it was quite unfortunate. And, you know, you get enough copyright strikes and your channel goes away. So I was pretty irritated by that little Christmas gift. And when I went online trying to figure out exactly what corporation or who was behind the copyright strike, the name of the record label and the email address for the record label took me right back to no other than Scott Henderson. Now, he and I have had discussions before about videos of his music being put up or reviews of his CDs. And when he hasn't liked them being online, I took them right down. So he knows you can comment and I'll take a video down, or my YouTube channel has an email that you can contact me. And also within the descriptive part of the video, I very assuredly come right out, and anything involving Scott, I will say, Scott, I hope you appreciate this. If you don't, let me know, and I'll pull it. Because he's very picky about what live recordings get put up. He doesn't want to sound bad on YouTube. be it the recording's crappy or whatever, had a bad night or whatever. So I have contacted Scott to try and see if we can reach some whatever understanding. But in the meantime, to play it safe, I've had to pull every video featuring Scott Henderson off of YouTube for fear of I'm going to get some random strike pop up and hit me months later after the video is up. And I've decided also, because the video that got pulled had Jean-Luc Ponty in the band and Henderson playing with Ponty, I went ahead and pulled all my Jean-Luc Ponty stuff off of YouTube. It's just not worth me losing my channel after I've worked so many years on it. So, it may seem kind of a ridiculous overreaction on my part, but I am selling all of my Scott Henderson, all of my Tribal Tech, and all of the other recordings where Scott played on. So let's look at what's going up for sale. I had my own copy of Players sealed. That's going up for sale. Some of you may or may not know, Scott Henderson played guitar with Joe Zawinul, the Syndicate. Immigrants, that's going up for sale. I believe, this is Black Water, featuring Scott Henderson on guitar. That's going up for sale. And this Notorious's 5 After 4 with Vito Reza. Scott Henderson played on this. That's going up for sale. And then this rare recording by Pat COIL called Steps on the Sheffield Lab label. That featured Scott Henderson. I'm selling that. And of course, you got the Vitaltechtones. Back when I was reviewing CDs, this was sent to me. I'm getting rid of it as well. And I got a VTT2. Doesn't have any label or anything like that, but it's got the CD, and I'm getting rid of that. As well as getting rid and selling all of my Tribal Tech, Rocket Science, Reality Check, Face First, Illicit, Tribal Tech self-titled, Nomad. Here's a rarity, still sealed, brand new. Tribal Tech X, getting rid of that. Dr. He, selling that. Spears, selling that. And I'll also be selling Primal Tracks, which is a collection of early Tribal Tech. And then, most recently, you've had these come out. Scott Henderson People Mover. That's still nil. I can't even talk. That is still new in the case. I'm getting rid of that, selling that. Scott Henderson Vibe Station. I'm selling that. Carnival by Scott Henderson. I'm selling that. And Scott Henderson Collection. I'm selling that. And to be honest, I never listened to Henderson, except very, very rarely I decide to do that. And, it's a lot of old school stuff, and I'm selling it and getting rid of it. I tire of having to deal with issues on YouTube involving artists that like to give me copyright strikes. So I am done. So again, many items up here for sale. This stack I showed you is not for sale. And then all these items are for sale. And like I said, I'll put links in the description of the video and maybe some in the comments section. Now, let's go check some of the stuff that is on the way. Oh, and while I'm thinking of it, I am a singer and I like gospel. And there's this guy, Ray Hart, who's one of the best gospel singers I have ever heard. And this is his album, LP, Still Sealed. Yes, Jesus Loves Me. Okay, so let's go now and look what's on the way. Ray Hart has passed away many years ago. Way too young, way too early. Okay, hold on. Okay, on the way, soon to arrive, is Jim Bart's Pictures of Earth and Space. I already have some really nice CDs that Bart's provided for me a long time ago for review, but I never picked up the actual label CD from him. So that is on the way. And then quite a rare and sometimes very expensive CD that you'll see on eBay and Amazon and whatnot. I picked up Brett Garcett's Big Sky. I thought I'd give it a listen and see if I really still like it or not. I used to have it a long time ago, and for some reason I tired of listening to it and I got rid of it. But we'll see now whether I still like it once it arrives. And the last thing that I ordered on CD, which is very rare and quite expensive, most places you'll look for it. This is Joe Cocker's live album called Something to Say. And if you like live blues rock, kind of back in the psychedelic rock of the 70s, this is a really killer recording. Had it on LP and decided, well, let me see if I can grab it on CD. My wife absolutely loves this. We used to go on vacations and crank it up on a CDR copy I made and sing along with Joe. Okay, for now, that is it. And in the background music you've been listening to is the late Hugh Ferguson. Some material he sent to me before he passed and never got released anywhere. So I hope you have enjoyed listening. Well, that's it for now, and pardon me and excuse me if my rant about troubles on YouTube and getting irritated and selling off all my Scott Henderson stuff was boring. Well, you know what you can do. You just fast forward through it and get to what you want to hear. But I hope you had a great Christmas. Hope you're having happy holidays. And we're looking forward to a great new year. 2025. With somebody as the president that's gonna get things done and fixed in this country.